I'm gonna play Hollow Knight from 100% battery down to 0, 5 times on different Switch models so we can find out exactly how much extra battery a dark game can squeeze out of the OLED Switch. Black pixels actually turn all the way off with OLED technology, so I'm going to assume Nintendo is not telling the whole truth about this battery. I'm even bringing in some Zelda so we can compare the results to a game that's a little more demanding. And these OLED results will be the same whether you're using the Splatoon version or one of the other OLED Switches. Let's go. As you can see, I've got the battery levels showing of each system, and I fast forwarded the gameplay with a timer in the top right corner. The battery levels will be updated every hour so we can watch their progress and see who wins the race and who loses. The consoles I used are the V2 standard Switch, which is the regular Switch you can buy in stores with the red box. I played on the Switch Lite and the Switch OLED model, of course. With the OLED system, I played in Vivid mode, which is the default display mode that's super vibrant and colorful, and I played in standard mode, which has the colors that are a little more muted and washed out. I'm going to go ahead and just assume Vivid mode is going to consume more battery. None of these units have been used before, so they're fresh out of the box with healthy batteries. And I charged them up so the Joy-Con are full of battery too. On top of this, I brought in my V1 Switch, which is the original model I bought back in 2017. This model comes with the shortest battery life of them all, and not to mention the unit is really old with an unhealthy battery, so it's pretty much just here for fun. If you have an old Switch though, maybe it'll help you get an idea of the improvements you might expect to see if you upgrade. After a couple hours, you can already see the Switch Lite is starting to struggle, and both display modes on the OLED are equally power efficient, which is interesting. The V2 Switch is still behind despite having the same exact battery as the OLED Switch. In fact, the V1, V2, and OLED models all have the same 4,310 mAh battery. The Switch Lite battery is the smallest of them since it's the smaller system, of course. That said, due to updated power efficiency of the V2 and Switch Lite models, both systems are rated higher battery life than the V1 Switch that was available at launch back in 2017. And speaking of the V1 Switch, yeah, not looking too great. I'm pretty sure it's about to die and lose the race. Now, I told you I was also playing some Zelda, so here's where we are with Skyward Sword on the 2 Switches I tested, just to give us a frame of reference. And back to the V1 with Hollow Knight, yeah. With our main lineup, it now looks like we have an entire 15% more battery life in the OLED model compared to the V2 standard Switch that you can currently get in stores. Even with the Zelda Switches though, the OLED model is 12% ahead of the V2. This tells me these gains might not be from the dark pixels. Maybe the OLED model is just more power efficient overall. But we'll find out by the end of the video. I'll make a graph and we'll look at the data. And goodbye, Switch Lite. Now I've added the OLED model playing Zelda in its place so we can take a look side by side. The OLED Switches running Hollow Knight are getting quite a bit extra battery, and the standard V2 Switch playing Zelda is running out of time. These are the Switches we're left with, and for the first time in 3 hours, you can see on the Switches playing Hollow Knight, the OLED model in standard mode is taking the lead with 1% more battery than the OLED model on Vivid mode. And Hollow Knight running on the standard Switch is out. 5 hours and 42 minutes is still not a bad amount of playtime to get out of your standard Switch. And Skyward Sword on the OLED gets out right before the 6-hour mark. I'm going to speed the rest of this up just a little more because, wow, you can see just how much battery we have left. And by the way, I did do every test with full brightness, full audio, and airplane mode on for consistency. This means you can likely get more battery out of yours if you're inside with the brightness down. Now we're 7 hours into gameplay, and I'm pretty sure with the OLED Switches, the Vivid mode is going to lose the race. It makes sense though, because it is powering more vibrant colors. Also, I gotta say, I'm really impressed with how long this OLED Switch lasted on 1% battery. And surprisingly enough, the standard died first. And 5 minutes later, the Vivid mode. With no Switches left now, let's take a look at this data. The OLED Switch playing Hollow Knight got over 2 hours extra battery life compared to the standard V2 Switch. Both these Switches have the same size battery and Nintendo gives them the same battery rating. So something's going on here. Yeah, Zelda got more juice from the OLED too, but less than an hour extra battery. It looks to me like darker games can definitely get more battery life out of this thing. But what do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Even if this difference is not because of the darkness of the game, I think it's still good to know how far we can take this thing. I mean, 8 hours, that's all day. If you like Nintendo Switch and unboxing videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button and then tap on those boxes on your screen, and I'll see you over there in another video.